Welcome to Mom's Life Made Simple, the podcast for moms who want to go from chaos to calm, from overwhelmed to organized, and to find balance between family responsibilities and personal growth. I'm your host, Chanel Nielsen. Let's make mom life simple. Hey, you guys. So good to be with you here this week on Mom's Life Made Simple. Today, we're going to talk about each step in the mom's method and why I've included it, why it matters, why I feel like it's important to help you create the life that you want to live, to find that balance, to find that joy, and why each step is included. So before we go there, let's start with the review of the week. This comes from Kristen, who says, "Thank you for doing what you do. I appreciate all your simple insights and I love your podcast. I felt led to pray for you today. May God multiply your blessings and reduce your worries. You are enough, you are worthy, you are loved. Love and virtual hugs, Kristen." Well, thank you, Kristen. And I love that. I love that you pray for me. I pray for you guys. I really do. I feel that prayer is a great way to connect us to each other and to help us to see what God wants us to do. So thank you for that, Kristen. And let's jump into why each step in the mom's method matters. So the mom's method is the methodology that I teach to help moms live their best life, to put themselves back on the list without leaving their family behind. And the mom's method is an acronym. It stands for manifestation, organization, mobilization, and simplification. So you may wonder, why those four? What's so important about those four things? And that is what we're going to talk about today. So manifestation. Manifestation is really seeing clearly what you want. And the truth is, if you don't know what you want, if you can't put your finger on what you want to be different or what you want life to be like, it's going to be really hard for you to make any changes in the present or for you to see any difference. What happens if we don't have like something clear that we're working towards, there can be this low level of frustration of kind of knowing, this isn't exactly it. This isn't exactly what I want, but I don't know what that would even look like. I think another thing, manifestation, sometimes we're held back or we don't even want to make goals or even dream about what life could be like because we're afraid. I had a really interesting conversation with a woman yesterday who we were talking about what she would love to see happen in her life. And she said, I don't set goals. I don't like goals. She didn't even like the word goals. And as we dove into that a little bit deeper, she told me that she didn't like goals because sometimes she didn't accomplish them. And then when she got to, whenever the goal was supposed to be accomplished and it wasn't, it made her feel bad. So it wasn't that she wasn't doing things in her life. She told me, I've done this and I've accomplished a few things, but she was just kind of letting it happen and did not want to commit to the future that she wanted. I think that's something I can really relate to because for me, for a long time, I also didn't like goals. I felt that exact same way, that goals were kind of a measuring stick to beat myself up with, that if I didn't reach the goal, I'm the worst, I didn't do it. When in all reality, what I've learned since is a goal helps you to make progress. Then if you measure from where you were to the progress that you made from setting the goal, you will always see a gain. You will always see that you've made progress. Now, you might not have made progress in the way that you had hoped to, but you will see that just from working toward that goal, something has shifted in you, something has changed, and you have grown either on the way that you were hoping to and making progress in what you were measuring, or in other attributes and other characteristics. Goals help us to grow in a lot of different ways. So another reason why I feel like this manifestation piece is so important, I also like to call it spiritual creation. And spiritual creation means what happens spiritually in the mind, in the spirit, in that kind of non-physical realm will eventually happen in the physical world. So another way to say that is thoughts become things. What we think about comes to pass. And so it's imperative that we believe. We believe that those things are coming. We recognize that the things that we think about in our mind's eye play out in our lives. And so manifestation is the mindset of conscientiously and intentionally deciding what you want and believing that it's going to happen, and then using these other steps and tools in the mom's method to bring it to pass. But that first mindset piece, that first manifestation piece of spiritual creation is this relationship with God and this trust in Him that He will bring you the best things in your life. Okay, the O in the mom's method stands for organization. So organization separates what's important from what's urgent. The urgent are the things that they need to get done. They need to get done right now. There are so many of those kinds of demands on our time that sometimes we can be totally consumed in what's urgent and leave those most important things undone. Organization is important because it gives us a clear perspective on what matters. It allows for that clarity. And that's why I love and I teach organization, because it allows us to see much more clearly. I was reminded of, he was the vice principal at my kids' middle school. And at middle school graduation, he said, when I walk around campus and I visit with kids, I often ask to check their binders. And I ask to check their binders because I can know just from looking at their binders if they're doing well in school, if they're a good student, or if they're struggling. And he went on to say that when he looked at their binders, if the papers were kind of crumpled in there, just shoved in the front, falling out, then he knew they were struggling in school and they weren't doing very good. If things were organized and they were, 3-hole punched and put in little dividers, he had a better idea that they were making progress and doing well in school and keeping up on their grades. And it makes sense because organization, of course, does not equal smarts or good grades per se, but what it does is organization let those students see what needed to happen. They could find their homework so that they could turn it in and get credit for it. They could take care of the things that mattered because they could see what mattered. It was all laid out and able for them to very clearly understand what needed to happen for them academically. The next M in the mom's method stands for mobilization. Mobilization is taking action. So why is this important and how do I teach it? I don't teach great, big, huge actions. That's not what I'm all about. I am about small and simple and doable steps. So we focus on the small daily actions, or another way to say that is habits. And the reason why can be summed up in this quote from John Maxwell. He said something like, it is, in order to change your life, you must change something you do every day. And I believe that to be true. I believe that life is made up of little actions repeated day after day after day. So much of what we do is done by habit. So if we create good habits, we'll create the life that we want to have. If our habits are serving us, if they're leading us toward where we want to go, we'll end up where we want to go. And so mobilization means that we are creating those good habits and then we are repeating those good habits day after day after day. Another part of mobilization that I feel like is really important is making adjustments along the way. It means that, yes, we're taking those actions, but we're also looking at our habits with eyes wide open to say, is this habit working out the way I thought it would? Is this serving me? First of all, am I doing the thing that I wanted to do? If not, how do I need to adjust it? And second, if I am doing it, is it giving me the results that I want? And so that part of mobilization is a process of evaluating and making sure and course correcting before you get too far along the path. And with habits, that's really a little bit easier to do than when we're talking about if you had some huge project, right, that you were putting all your efforts into. Instead, because they're little things, they're easy to do and they're easy to rework. Now, I want to add a caution here. Because they're so easy to do, they're easy not to do. I bet there are things that you've heard over and over and over, like it would be good to have a morning routine, or that you should read your scriptures every day, or things like that. Drink more water, right? There are things that we've all heard that maybe when we hear, we're like, oh, yeah, I know that. Okay, you know it, but are you mobilizing on it? Are you taking action on it? Are you doing it every day? Mobilization says, if you're not, let's make it simpler. Let's break that down. Let's make it really doable so that you can start right away to take action. And then again, let's make sure that it's working in the way that you wanted it to. Okay. The last letter is S, and that stands for simplification. Recently, Dieter Uchtdorf said something along the lines of, let some things go so that others can grow. That is the idea of simplification. What in your life is holding you back from doing the things that you want to do? So why simplify? We simplify to weed out, to get rid of anything that might be holding us back. So we simplify stuff when stuff is getting in the way. We simplify our schedules when our schedules are just too cluttered and too full. We simplify our mind by relaxing, doing meditation, things like that allow us to clear our minds. Simplifying is the process of letting go of the things that don't serve us. Letting go can be painful. It can be hard. Simplify is a funny thing because it sounds simple, but it can actually be really difficult and really challenging to let things go. This has been, for me in my coaching, one of the things that I've struggled with a lot as a coach with my clients are clients who have really packed schedules and really busy lives, and they have so much going on, but they don't want to let any of it go. They love it all, they want to do it all, and yet they feel like they're failing at the end of each day. You might feel that way too, sometimes. Sometimes that's just a product of being human, and especially of being a mom. But is there room to let some things go? And would letting some things go, would simplifying a little bit, allow you to let other things grow and allow you to spend more time, more effort, more energy on the things that matter most instead of having those be put aside for things that don't really matter that much? So that is the why of why each of these four are in the MOMS method: manifestation, organization, mobilization, and simplification. When you combine these four and use this method, you'll find more peace and more balance. You'll be able to get things done that are important to you and take care of your family in the way that you want to. You'll be able to answer the calls on your heart, the things that you feel called to do, and answer the things that your family is asking of you at the same time. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for that little bit of self-care, that little bit of progress on our goals, that little bit of personal development and progression while still stepping up to the plate and being the best moms that we can. The MOMS method definitely helps you to get there. So that is all I have for you today. I am so thankful that you're here. If you haven't yet, I would love for you to hop on over to chanelnielsen.com. There are lots of resources for you there. If you click on the link that says mornings, I have a free download for you that will help you to get started right away on creating a morning routine. So the things that we've talked about today about habits and mobilization and keeping it simple, that is the kind of morning routine that I suggest you get started with. And that is what the morning routine download will help you to do. Thanks for listening to Mom's Life Made Simple. Need some help making your mom life simple? I offer group coaching programs using my 4-step method called the MOMS method. This is a process of manifestation, organization, mobilization, and simplification that will give you the balance, progress, and joy you're looking for. Visit ChanelNielsen.com or find me on Instagram or Facebook at Chanel Nielsen Coaching. I love to hear from you. Reach out with your questions, your feedback, and let me know how I can help make your mom life simple.